Folks, what the crap's going on? Heir of Carthage here, back in Total War Rome 2, and yes, today we get to take a look at Baktria taking on Saba. So two factions that we certainly don't see every day. Should be a lot of fun. Baktria, of course, is kind of a mix of Alexandrian and Eastern. And then Saba is going to be a desert-based faction that's going to be really interesting, so we'll check them out here in a moment. Let's go take a look at Baktria's army. In terms of strength, Baktria has good missile capabilities, both on foot and on horse, and you can see that here with these Baktrian horse archers. They deal really nice damage. Have a rather short range, though. They could be in heavy shot right now because of that range and damage. It is heavy. Well, I think it's heavy shot. It could just be that they're standard at 100, which is a pretty short range, but I think they're on heavy shot. So we got 4 of those in total, and then up front there's going to be Persian light archers times 4, guarded by an Eastern spearman, a Bactrian hillman, and a Bactrian royal cavalry with the general. That is a pretty hard-hitting shot cavalry, and then behind them there's Scale Thorax hoplites, which are some pretty mediocre hoplites, and then we're going to have Thorax swords on either flank there, as well as Bactrian peltist. You may be wondering what is the difference between regular peltist and Bactrians. They're kind of like light peltist. They come with some extra ammunition. And they are way behind the main lead, so it looks like Baktria is hoping to use its faster units to skirmish the Saba back into them. Up front for Saba is going to be 3 units, call it 4 units of slingers, actually. And then behind that, we've got mercenary Mas Get Marauders. So pretty cool unit here. It looks like they're an axe damage unit, so they're going to come with pretty heavy AP. They won't have a ton of damage, but a lot of their damage is going to go straight through armor. And they've got pretty good melee attack and a pretty darn good charge bonus there. Mediocre armor and defense, but I'm assuming that their price is probably right since they're a medium infantry. We do have some Marib Camel Cataphracts, or Camelfracts, as we like to call them, Desert Heavy Lancers, Desi Heavy Lancers, what? I know what I'm saying. Then we got some Royal Camel Archers here, as well as another Heavy Lancer and a Camelfract on the other flank as well. So some very powerful shot cavalry on the field for Saba. They've got some Desert Spearmen on their flanks. In terms of sheer melee, it definitely looks like Saba could overpower the melee line of Baktria, but in terms of skirmish, Baktria has a significant advantage. In terms of melee cavalry, a massive advantage to Saba, but I think that this erosion of the melee capability is the plan here of Baktria. Ooh, they called it close there. Oh, look at that. That Hillman getting his javelins out, just really working. Oh, missed that charge, and here comes Saba. Fortunately, these are Persian light archers here, not a huge deal, but still, Saba is putting an end to quite a few skirmish units early, and the general is caught in combat. Not where he wants to be. He needs to get out of that combat quickly before those Marauders arrive, or else it is going to be a bad day for Baktria real fast. The Camel Cataphracts harassing the horse archers, not quite able to catch them. Persian light archers falling back towards their own line. This one could come back from routing, but it's pretty heavily damaged, and they are being pursued by Desert Heavy Lancers. I'm surprised we're not seeing a push forward by the infantry for Baktria. Their general is trying to break free out of that fight. He's being pursued by Heavy Lancers, and he's going to sacrifice that Eastern Spear to get the general out. And it looks like the general gets out pretty safe here, and is going to hit these Heavy Lancers in the back. That should be pretty effective, but they are going to take out more archers on the way, so only 1 Eastern archer survived that initial assault. These Bactrian peltists are chucking some javelins in here, a little bit dangerous because the general is nearby, but Saba is just all out and kind of discombobulated fashion here, just charging forward. The Marib Camel Cataphracts just careening into the Bactrian army at this point. There goes a Heavy Lancer. The Bactrian horse archers get caught out here by a Camel Cataphract of all things. I wouldn't have expected that. And then the Saba player here just really doggedly pursuing those horse archers with infantry and slingers as well. So Saba, I guess, is just hoping to crash into these hoplites, go for a quick KO, and just catch Baktria and overwhelm them here, I guess is their attempt. The Bactrian peltist here coming over. Those camel archers need to fall back, or else they're going to get a face full of extremely dangerous javelins here. So yeah, they are going to have to fall back. Let's see how the Masquet Marauders are doing here. against the Scale Thorax Hoplites. Not surprising, the Marauders are chopping through them. Armor is one of the few benefits that you get out of a Hoplite unit. It certainly doesn't get a good charge. I would think that as long as the Marauders can kind of hold their crap together for long enough, they should survive, but we're getting a Hoplite wall now. So Baktria is going for the grind here to try and buy time. Their Peltists are in some danger here. There's a Camel Cataphract closing, and it does not get turned in time. It was chasing a different unit. That was the Desert Heavy Lancers, and then gets careened into by that Camel Cataphract, which shouldn't have much of a problem crushing these units. There's a Persian Light Archer nearby, and let's see what else is out here. Some Horse Archers trading shots with the Royal Camel Archers. The Royal Camel Archers getting absolutely shredded by those Horse Archers, I believe, because of the heavy shot that they're firing has a lot of AP. So this Saba General here getting wrecked pretty hard. The Bactrian Royal Cavalry, meanwhile, crashing into some slingers, but going to be caught by some Desert Spears and mercenary Mosquet Marauders. Speaking of, let's check in on those Marauders. It's a close fight for them. They're winning, but I say winning, some of them are not. Most of them appear to be winning, but with their general about to die and they're under fire here, so see where their flanks overlap to that hoplite wall? You're getting a lot of Bactrian Peltist shots in there, and it's turning that fight rather quickly. So a fight that I believe the Mosquet Marauders would win, but in this case they likely aren't going to win that. Bactrian General is going to go down. That's got to have some effect on the units here. We'll see. I don't think Saba can pull this one off. They're going to be hurt for units and leaders. Their infantry line could potentially crumble. Like, see this unit fell apart here? Saba desperately needs help here, and even something small like this Hillman coming up from behind could be enough to just put an end to this whole fight really quick. Saba's kind of hanging on by a thread here up front. And like I said, they don't really have a lot of support left, so I think Baktria carries this one, but it's hard to say. Both players are without a general. Stranger things have happened. Let's watch these Hillmen, though. And this is a good pick. This unit's already a little bit low on morale. That rear charge is going to take that even lower. Yep, now it's into the red. So they're going to be very close to potential rout here. Yep, now they're wavering, so I think that's going to be the straw that broke the camel's back. Joke not intended, but I guess well placed here because the Saba army had brought so many camels. So yes, it's probably going to be the end of them. If Saba had a few more cavalry units left, they might be able to finish this one because they have some extra infantry. So I think the biggest mistake here from Saba was as they initially started to take damage from that Bactrian skirmish, they were just a little bit too haphazard in their pursuit of those skirmishers. I think they should have kept their cavalry back, let their infantry take some of that fire. It wouldn't be pretty, but keeping that heavy shot cavalry alive would have allowed them to get to the Bactrian skirmishers and support the infantry fights and potentially make up for it. Here, that cavalry did all the work initially, getting in there and kind of fixing the Bactrian army, but it paid such a dear price for it that there was really just no cavalry left to support at that point. And despite the melee superiority from the outset, I think, for Saba, it did not materialize because of the situation that the Saba infantry had to fight from. So there we go. That is going to be a clear victory for Baktria at this point. Pretty solid one. I mean, not just like absolute breakaway, but a pretty solid victory. It's a little closer than it looks by sheer number of units left, I think, based on what was going on there, but again, a good victory for Baktria. Let's go check out the stats on this one. Appreciate both players. We had Widom here and Hotel Soap. And let's take a look. The Desert Heavy Lancers, some of them still got some kills. And the Camel Cataphracts, again, they just went in a little too early. That Camel Archer General, again, just kind of got caught a little bit early. These Marauders, some of them were really cranking up some kills there and doing well. The others, they kind of just ended up fighting without any support. And it ended up costing them, and so that ended up providing a pretty good balance there for the Scale Thorax Hoplites. They got owned on the charge in the initial combat, but then as they went into Hoplite Wall, got some support fire from their skirmishers, ended up turning out very well for them. Those Bactrian Horse Archers were brutal. They caused a lot of damage and confusion. The Bactrian Royal Guard did not give an amazing performance, but it got some key kills against some slingers which could have potentially saved Baktria in the end too, because you certainly don't want to be taking all that missile fire late in the game. But fun battle. Hope you all enjoyed this one. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you soon with some more action in Total War Rome 2.